What's good? What's good? What's good? Welcome back to Ravens Roundup, and I have the cast of characters here with me today. We're coming at you after a Thanksgiving Debbie Downer by the Baltimore Ravens, losing to the Cincinnati Bengals in a unfathomable fashion, giving up 5 turnovers and losing to the worst defense in the NFL, who statistically was last or dead last in almost every major defensive statistical category. So with the bat, that's me.
Oh
Oh,
no, that's my bad. That's me.
with the bad news out the way, bringing in our guys. We got 2/3 of the Deep Cover podcast. Chris and Carrie, how you guys doing? How was your Thanksgiving?
Doing well. Thanksgiving was good. Spent it in Philly with my daughters and my mom. So yeah, we had a good time. Saw some other family over there, and it was a good time. Definitely a good one.
Cool, Carrie.
Yeah, same man. Just family and football. You really can't go wrong with that. Even though they took the L, games. Other two games were pretty entertaining games. So just try to take that out of it. But other than that, just stress-free day besides the L.
I agree. Those other two games were pretty entertaining, and bringing the I couldn't say Texas native, but that'd be wrong. The Texas resident outside of H Town. What's good, son?
Not much, man. Thanksgiving was great. Outside of the game. Well, here's the thing: the Ravens ruined my dinner. They ruined my Thanksgiving dinner. I didn't eat until 9:30, 10 o'clock. Right, we was running behind on the food like all day. So I'm eating my food as the game is going on. I can't taste nothing. I couldn't taste a doggone thing. So but overall Thanksgiving was good. Got to spend it with my girl, just one-on-one, me and her, and that was a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm good though. I'm ready to talk.
Nothing wrong with that. It's always good to have good people around you, and despite what we saw on television, the vibes from the real people are what matters. And I enjoyed my time around family, and got to talk to my boys and whatnot. So just enjoyed Thanksgiving. Other than the 20 some hours in the car going there and back, I'm good. But I appreciate it. Appreciate all the people that in the Discord that said glad you made it back safe. And I think Chris even said she gonna miss the golden throne. I think she was talking about the chair I was sitting in at my mom's house. Yeah, that's just crazy, man. Let's get on into this talk. So obviously we lost, had 5 turnovers, and we'll get into our first question. I'll pop it up there. What actually broke the Ravens' momentum? Was it the Bengals' game plan or the Ravens' own mistakes? And I'll start with you, Kerry.
I would say I don't think it was necessarily the Bengals' game plan. I think honestly it was the Ravens' mistakes, quite clearly, and just some of the couple fatal flaws that they have kind of show up in moments like this. I mean, when you lose a turnover battle in the fashion that they did, it's hard to win a game. It's hard to even stay in a game. But honestly, the plays that they left on the field were, even more detrimental. I mean, there were some plays that, even with the turnovers, could have kept them in the game that, turned out to be, incompletes or fumbles or tip balls or, whatever the case may be. So I'm gonna side with the Ravens' mistakes, and mistakes we're talking turnovers, but really there was just some blunders and missed opportunities that were probably more, of a nail in the coffin than they really should have been.
Chris?
Yeah, I mean, the same story as always with the Ravens. They got in their own way. They shot themselves in the foot. I mean, I didn't see anything spectacular that the Bengals were doing. I mean, Joseph Osai, he was playing out of his mind that day, but other than him, I didn't see like any real obstacle in their way except for themselves. And it's been like that in these kind of games where the Ravens just shoot themselves in the foot. And It looks like they're building up some momentum. They got the likely play, and then for whatever reason, he does a triple axel into the end zone and fumbles the ball away, and that's it. It felt like that's all she wrote. After that, it was just downhill. So it's just more the Ravens getting in their own way, the offense specifically.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with the fellas, man. I mean, you talk about me just from the likely fumble, right, to the Tez drops to the Flowers fumble at the end, even though the game was pretty much over by then, but that was like the last ditch effort. To the offensive pass interference call that I felt like was a little ticky tacky from the refs. I'm not gonna lie to you, but and then of course the Lamar Jackson, the fumble, the two fumbles, right? One of them that I thought was a little bit, could have been called an incomplete pass. I don't know if it would have been another quarterback, it might have been called incomplete. I'm just saying, right? But no, for the most part, yeah, they definitely got in their own way, and it was very discouraging to see because it felt like a very familiar loss. It felt like a playoff loss, right? And it's just something that you don't want to see from this Ravens team who's been going through those same things over the past 8 years that Lamar Jackson's been here. Yep. And I think nobody's really going to talk about it, but it starts with coaching. It seems like this Ravens team doesn't have a head coach who can kind of settle them down when things aren't necessarily going their way. You see Lamar Jackson slamming his helmet on the sideline. He's frustrated after the first quarter, after just the first mishap, right? I would love to have a head coach who can really just reel all of his guys in and really kind of put them in the best position mentally to go win. But that's another story for another day, the whole head coaching thing. But again, yeah, I definitely think that they got in their own way. It wasn't really what the Bengals did.
I want to piggyback off of that what you just said with the coaching stuff. It simply would have taken that's just if I see Lamar come off throwing his helmet down, it's like you said, it was early in the game, correct? Look, come here, man.
Yep.
It's the first quarter. You one of the best players in the league. Calm down. Body language tells a lot. You throwing your helmet, you all this that don't help nobody. Control your emotions. Go lead the football team, and just go out and win a damn football game. That's all. And that may happen, but we're not privy to seeing that type of stuff on the sideline. We see other coaches go to their players and have whatever talks to them. We never see John other than a rah. Hey, congratulations, that was a great play. Other than something like that, and I'm not saying it don't happen. I'm just saying we don't see it, but we do see other coaches have conversations with their players in game, whether it's to get on their case, whether it's to make an adjustment, whether it's to do something other than great play, man. And so that's what's to me what's missing. That's the little intangible stuff, and that ain't even about X's and O's. That's about being a freaking people person.
Yeah,
and knowing the inner workings of each individual. You ain't got to know what they favorite color is and what kind of music they like to listen to, but have some kind of personal connection with these players to say you can go talk to them and calm them down in the situation. That's how you lead men. You don't lead men by saying, "Hey, great play." The intangibles, man. And I think he out of touch with it. He out of touch with it. Whoa. Stop. Time out.
Uh-oh.
Show interrupted.
I see a bomb.
show interrupted. show interrupted. Forget my questions. He said quick questions. You can send a couple more.
Send him the link.
Right. You can EP this thing. Jay dropped a 50 bomb. Appreciate it. And he says,
yes,
quick question for everyone. Say we do make the playoffs, with the AFC being wide open, is there a realistic chance we make the Super Bowl? Ravens seem to get out. I think he said Raven can't seem to get out of their own head. That's what it should be. But again, appreciate you for the 50J, and we're going to answer this to the best of our abilities. So we'll start with the first question. Is there a realistic chance we can make it to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, there's a realistic chance. If you look at the landscape of the AFC right now, it is wide open. I was just talking on my show about how the current standings right now, I think if the playoffs started today, you'd have the Ravens taking on the Chargers, you'd have the Jaguars taking on the Colts, you'd have the Broncos taking on the Bills, and you have the Patriots at the 1 seed with the first round bye. Out of those teams, who really scares you? Like in the playoffs, right? Which of those teams have playoff experience and acumen enough to really like strike fear in your heart as a Ravens fan. Like, yeah, they would undoubtedly beat us. Outside of the Bills, I don't really see anybody. I mean, the Broncos have a really good defense, but not afraid of the Colts, not afraid of the Jags. Hell, I'm not afraid of the Patriots. They ain't played nobody all year, right? So I think there is a realistic chance that they can make the Super Bowl. But, you know, going back to the last question, if they can't clean up, you know, some of these mistakes and some of these mental blunders that they tend to have in these games under the lights, then it won't happen. But there is a chance, though.
Gotcha. Chris?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, whenever you have 8 back there, you have a chance. So it's what are they going to do with this time off? Like, what changes are going to be made mentally? How are they going to reset and come back to this? Because it just seems like they needed this mini bye badly, mainly the offense. Monken, Lamar, everybody else on the offense, they just seem out of whack right now. And if they could take this time off, this short little mini bye that they have, and just get things right and get the offense looking how it did to begin the season, this could be a dangerous team. But I just said a lot of ifs, and that shit don't count for nothing.
Hey, if we know the saying, if. Here.
Yeah, I mean, a prime example of this is look at the Colts. They made that Sauce Gardner trade at the deadline because the AFC was so open. They make the trade, then DeForest Buckner goes down. Sauce gets hurt with a calf. Daniel Jones is playing on one leg.
Right.
Like,
Kerry. How sorry do you have to be to run a man onto one leg when you got a willing and able backup quarterback that's fully healthy, cannon arm, probably ain't got it all up there, that you run a one-leg man out there to play quarterback?
Him and Riley Leonard got to be the maddest men in America right now. Like, y'all really rolling this dude out here? They can't move. But I mean, that's just the prime example of just how open it is. Like, the Colts were a team that were trying to make that push because they saw how open it was, and now look at the bad luck they've come across. So, the Patriots, as good as they played, as good as Drake May has played, nobody's fearful of them. Yeah, they're gonna make Vrabel is a good coach. He's gonna be a good defensive game plan. Josh McDaniel raises the floor of that offense, but nobody's going into a game fearful of them. So I mean, it's wide open. But like Chris said, what did they do in these extra couple of days of preparation? Are they able to do the things they need to do to reset this thing and get it back on course? Because if they are, the run is right there for them. But they gotta seize the opportunity.
And I agree with all y'all. I think we have a chance to make it. And just like you guys were saying that those lists that Sutton put out, we don't fear anybody. I think that works the same way against us too. I don't think nobody fears us anymore either. So that even makes it even more wide open because there's no, in my opinion, no top dog that everybody looks up and say, yeah, we got to beat that team to get to where we got to go. And I'm speaking just in terms of this year. Like, the parity in the NFL right now is absolutely crazy. Now, for individual fan bases, it sucks. But for the NFL as a total product, they are winning right now. They are winning right now. And lo and behold, their biggest market is most, whatever the proper way to say it, is about to be hot, and it's going to be even more. And I'm talking about the darn Cowboys. And, I call a spade. When they good, the NFL eats. When they good. Yeah. So, but I do think we have a chance to make it, but we got to, like Chris said, we got to take this mini bye week, figure that offensive line thing out. If you need one more week of shuffling to see who's the better guy, even though to me, I already know who the better guy is. And just, you can hide one lineman, you can't hide two. And that's what we got to get to the point where we hiding just one guy and not both of them. And whether it's 72 or 77, it ain't all, and our call, we all know who it's going to be. If they make a change, it ain't going to be 77. But that, I think they do have a chance to get to the Super Bowl. And thank you, Jay, for the donation, man. It means a lot. Yeah. And I'm going to find a way to put it back into the channel some kind of way. All right. Man, that's big time right there. I appreciate you. let's go on to our second question. All right, how concerned should the fans be about the offensive inconsistency in this game? This is some of the stuff we just talked about. Now, I'll start with you, Chris.
Um, I mean, very concerned. I mean, everything seems off. You can't just pin it on one specific area. You know, you got Monken is doing a terrible job. You know, you could put the excuses that you want out for them when it comes to the offensive line, but he's just doing a terrible job. Um, Lamar's not playing well. You know, Lamar's playing pretty crappy. Again, you could put the excuses of the offensive line too, but hey, when things are blocked up and you can't hit the throw,
or when you don't follow your reads, and if
yeah.
you gave the ball, it would have been probably a touchdown.
And you know, I love Lamar.
Me too.
So people got to get this thing out of, if you criticize Lamar, that means you hate him. No, that no one is above any kind of criticism when it comes to the game of football. Like, no one is perfect on that field. Patrick Mahomes is not perfect.
Uh-oh.
Time out. Time
Another
out.
one.
Like Callie said, another one. Hey.
Oh, damn.
Hey, don't. Hey.
Oh,
yeah, we going up today. We going up.
Like she Queen Thangalang around here. Hey, that is definitely a South reference.
Another, send that link to her too.
Hey, y'all really making it rain on this episode, man. We appreciate
most
it.
Definitely, most definitely. Man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Chris coming through big time. Chris gonna take Bazel down. That's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen. But we ain't gonna let them show you up. They got to come in. They got to speak. They got to be cordial. And I don't think he knew the rules yet, but he know them now. Get him straight, Chris. Get him straight. Get him straight. All right, Lil Chris, your turn back now.
Yeah, I think you know, everybody, you know, it's not just Lamar, because you know there's going to be people that's going to be pinning it solely on Lamar, but that's just narratives and clicks and all of that nonsense. But it's the whole offense, you know, it's everybody. The offensive line, Lamar, Monken, wide receivers, tight end, everybody got to lock in, because everyone has a hand in this offense looking like shit. So hopefully with Emory Jones in there, hopefully these guys don't fumble the ball anymore, catch the ball. Everybody can make their reads. Monken can get his head out of his ass and run the ball a little bit more. But like I said, man, a lot of ifs. But I don't understand it, because when you watch this offense from the beginning of the year, it looks completely different from the way it does now. And there hasn't been a huge change in personnel. I mean, what changes have happened? Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. Nothing that's like jaw dropping, other than they finally say, oh, okay, maybe Voorhees ain't it. Maybe. That's it.
Yeah. 86 ghosts.
B dropped to 20, says they doing good for 1 month, but I'm not all time. Hey, facts. 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 B. Hey, and B, and I know Chris can tell you, and if Jose were here, he could tell you too. B is once he get his mindset on it, he gonna do it. If he say he winning something, he gonna do it. And so B been doing this thing for at least with me personally, at least 2 years. At least 2 years. I don't know if y'all noticed, but last year, B was on every pregame or halftime show I did. He had this little cooking segment, and we used to come in and talk about different things he cooked and whatnot. So he did every pregame, and then I would put it on at halftime as well while I went, got some out of the kitchen and whatnot. So appreciate you, B, for being through there. And don't forget, Sutton just had the mug. You can get the mugs on Teespring, Ravens Roundup. There it is. There it is. And it's probably one at the bottom of this thing, and it looked lime green. I don't know why they got the lime green one up there, but it'll come white like that. If you just got to pick white. If you pick lime green, probably gonna be a old ugly sticker on it. Get the white one. If you get one, get the white one, because there ain't no sticker. That's the regular etched in stuff. All right. Appreciate you, B. Appreciate you, Chris. Appreciate you, Jay. Let's keep rolling. Did I cut somebody off just then?
No.
Nah.
Kerry, did you answer this one about how concerned the fans should be?
Nah, not yet. Very concerned. This is why, and people might get tired of people that cover this team talking about the offensive line over and over again. But this is why you invest in the offensive line. Like throughout the course of a season, you're not going to always be in sync. The coordinators ain't going to call, 17 great games. Quarterback isn't going to play 17 great games. There's ebbs and flows to the season. You're going to play tough opponents that match up well with you, all this stuff. But something that travels every single week, a great stabilizer is
Mm-hmm.
a run game and a clean pocket. That'll get you where you need to go when things aren't going as you plan. And for them to not be able to tap into that at this point is what snowballs performances like this. Now, what they have to do is figure out ways around that. They got to figure out, okay, play calling wise, Monken has to figure out what can I do in situations where things are kind of getting out of control. We turn over the ball here, turn over the ball there, got some drops. What can I do to settle this down? And sometimes it's you just don't have it in the run game. The short passing game, coach, you preach this time and time again. We got to get some consistency with that. Some staple plays, some staple formations, some go-to guys in those instances
No
to
staples.
settle this down. Yeah, none. And so that's got to be the focus going forward. On top of, I'm sure we'll get to it, but Emory Jones and what he was able to do, um,
Mm-hmm.
building on that and having him build some continuity with the rest of the line going forward is, their only shot as far as really getting this thing to where it needs to go.
We got to have a solid five here ASAP. It's late in the season to be tampering with the O line, but we got to have a like whoever the five going to be in this next week or two. Let them be the five, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
Because they got to get continuity. If it's going to be Emory Jones, he needs to get there and learn what Ronnie does well, what Tyler does well, and they also need to learn what he does well and how fast he can pick up stuff. And like he need to bag off on some in some instances, or be a little more finesse here. They got to learn all that, and they got to learn it fast. Because remember, he didn't have no preseason. He had probably no practice, not very many practices the first 2 months of the season.
Yeah.
So now, as soon as you get healthy, it's to the point where they got to kind of put you in. That's it is, it's kind of crazy, kind of crazy. Oh,
This is kind of
Damn.
crazy.
this is very crazy. this, this is certified nuts, but I sure appreciate it. I appreciate it. New question alert. Jay dropped another 50. He says Todd has been struggling to find the identity of this offense because the offensive line is so bad. You can see that Lamar does not trust his O-line. The identity should be pass first, then run, I guess. We don't have the weapons to come out gunsling. No, pass off the run. Pass off the run. Bad. Not bad. Pass off the run. More like play action and stuff like that. So I agree with your statement. I feel like our identity should be outside zone and play action stuff off of that. Every now and then we get, in shotgun and do what our traditional type stuff, but it should be under center, running the ball, play action off of that. But you got to establish it first. What's your opinions on what Jay said?
Yeah, I think he's spot on. I think if you look at the way Kubiak runs that offense in Seattle, I think the way this team is constructed, I think they should be more in the realm of that. But like you said, Monken doesn't trust the O line.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar doesn't trust the O line, and so you see that lack of trust weekly with, some of the play calls. You see that with Lamar's approach at times, and they just got to figure out a middle ground with it. Because I mean, the O line is what it is. Blame blame EDC, but I mean, it's not a whole lot they can do about it right now. They got to figure out a way to work around it. Going ahead and putting Emory Jones in that left guard spot, and like you say, locking in and really trying to get some continuity between him, Stanley, and Linderbaum will go a long way. But yeah, they have to figure out an identity going forward. It may not be the identity that they wanted going into the season. I mean, it won't. but they have to figure out, okay, what's the identity we need right now at this moment to try to continue to lead this division and try to make a run in the playoffs. That I mean, they have to figure that out.
So
Yeah, I mean, I definitely do think that they need to find their identity and fast. What I will say is this, though. You know, a lot of us are slandering Todd Monk, and Chris said he's been doing a horrible job. And to a degree, I understand that. I mean, not running Derrick Henry in the second and fourth quarter, basically half the game, inexcusable, right? Rasheen Ali out snapping Derrick Henry, Keaton Mitchell. I don't care what the
together.
game situation is. Again, yes, together, it's inexcusable, right? Those things need to be fixed. However, I think we're having a very different conversation right now if the ball just bounced our way on a couple of different plays from Lamar Jackson. You know what I
True.
mean? Like I mentioned it earlier in the show. If likely, like you said, if he doesn't go triple axel on the goal line and fumble away, you know, a touchdown right there, if the refs don't call that ticky-tack offensive pass interference on Zay Flowers, which we've seen tons of other receivers in the league. I mean, Jamar
In the
Chase did it
same
in that
game.
game. In the
Right.
same game.
Mm-hmm.
Jamar Chase earlier that day, CeeDee Lamb. You know what I mean? These things happen all the time. That could have been another touchdown, right? The play where Lamar Jackson wanted to float it up to a wide open Mark Andrews in the end zone, but Isaiah likely gets blown up on his block. 99 gets right into Lamar's lap and tips that ball, and you just get a floater easy interception for number 41, the linebacker. Yeah, that's 3 touchdowns right there. That's 3 touchdowns, and I feel like those touchdowns, especially at the times that they came, right? If likely gets that touchdown, I think it's a totally different offensive game plan from that point out, right? And I think that the game, just the story of the game, is a little bit different on both sides, right? So in a year where, like we mentioned earlier, the AFC is more open than a 7-Eleven right now, right? You have to be able to get this identity on track before this playoffs. I mean, look, we got the Steelers this week. You mentioned the outside zones and things like that. I totally agree. The Steelers cannot stop outside runs, and that's what we excel at the most, right? So that needs to be kind of like the game plan going forward to kind of shape this identity. But I'm not really concerned about Lamar Jackson. A lot of people are crapping on him and stuff like that, and he needs to play better. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like I feel like we're closer than we think we are right now. We're closer than we think. Again, appreciate the super chat donation, JR. That's huge.
Yeah, that's bro. You don't know how when this stuff happens, how hard it is for me to stay locked in and still be professional. Because it's crazy when it happens. I'm just leaving it at that. It's crazy. But I appreciate it. And don't take my flustering as upset about it. It's still amazing that people mess with what we doing over here. That means a lot to me. Like Erykah Badu said, I'm sensitive about my shit. Let's go to our next one. I don't even know if we finished this one. We're gonna go to the next one. All right. Did the defense take a step backwards, or was Joe Burrow simply in one of his can't miss modes? And I personally want to start with this one. I don't think the defense took a step backwards. There are just certain people in the NFL that you can't mess with. And I don't want to say, please replace mess with something else. But there are certain people and you can't mess with. And that number 1 for Cincinnati, he is one of them. It don't care. I don't care if I'm throwing it to him, Chris throwing it to him, Joe Burrow, Joe Flacco, Joe Cool. It don't matter. If he can get any space, he's gonna get the ball no matter how you do it. If it's a regular route, if it's I see you scrambling, let me adjust. If it's a jump ball, if it's a screen and I gotta, turn it to a running back, he is just one of them ones. And him being suspended that game before, I knew he was gonna kill us. I ain't know if he was gonna do enough to win the game, but I knew he was gonna kill us. For the same reason, I know Lamar's gonna play lights out next week. But that's like I said, that's another topic for another day. But go ahead, guys.
Yeah, for me, I thought the defense played well enough to win a game. I think so. There's 2 fatal flaws on this team right now. It's obviously the offensive line, and then 2, it's the inconsistency as far as being able to get pressure on the quarterback. And that stands out even more when you're playing a Cincinnati with Burrow and Jamar Chase. And what you saw in this game was the inability to get pressure start to kind of really, bar the or, and then it made him kind of press, and it made him kind of send some stuff that maybe he didn't necessarily want to send. And they got some big plays off of it. That Andre Yoshiva's touchdown, prime example of that.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want to have Rowe in that position to try to man up on Yoshivas in that situation, but it gets tight. Pressure gets on you. Burrow ain't the average quarterback. When he's getting comfortable back there in the clean pocket and surveying things and getting positive gains every down, it forces you to kind of start overcompensating, and that's what he had to do. And Cincinnati was able to take advantage and make some plays. But all in all, I thought the defense did what they needed to do. I mean, that with those turnovers and what was happening on offense, the Ravens could have really, really got ran out of the building.
Mm-hmm.
Like they really could have did them dirty. But the defense held up. I mean,
didn't they get
Cheeto.
Didn't they have a 1st and goal and didn't score?
Right. Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, they stood up on multiple occasions. I mean, I know Chase did his thing, but Cheeto made some plays on Chase as well. And so, yeah, I don't have anything issue with the defense at all. I mean, the only issue I would have is, EDC saw what this pass rush was in the preseason and didn't do enough to address it. And now we're kind of reaping, not reaping the benefits, is the opposite of it.
Reaping what we sow.
Right. Exactly.
Reaping what we didn't sow.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's where we are right now. But, even with that, I thought the defense played well enough to win the game if the offense didn't, just totally wet the bed.
Yeah, I agree with what Kerry said. I thought they played well. You can't continue to put your defense in those type of situations and expect them to just keep holding on when you have Joe Burrow there, and then you have an elite wide receiver with Jamar Chase. Like, it's eventually they're gonna break through, and I thought they held their water for a long time until the Bengals finally broke through. But I like what I'm seeing from them. I mean, granted, like Kerry said, the pass rush is non-existent. It looked like our edge rushers were just running into a wall every time. Like, it was just there was no type of threat. And the Ravens, they don't have the kind of pass rushers that match well against those big behemoths that the Bengals have. They have two huge tackles,
Orlando and Mims.
And those guys, they're just going to wait there, be patient, because they know you're not going to run through them.
Mm-hmm.
So when they have that kind of confidence to know that a Mike Green's not going to be able to run through them, or Kyle Van Noy's not going to be able to run through them, that makes their job so much easier. And it showed on Thursday night. So hopefully with Tavius possibly coming back, it can add a little bit more something to the edge room, a little bit more physicality that they're kind of lacking right now when it comes to the edge. Hopefully that he can bring some type of juice, because right now it's a little bit in the dire side right now.
Son, did I hit you on this one?
No, I won't spend too long on this
No,
one.
I just don't want to make, because Chris know I'll skip folks, so that's why I be asking.
No, I mean they cover most of the points. It's just, for me, man, like we just mentioned, the pass rush is just pretty much non-existent in certain scenarios. And the biggest thing is this: the Ravens were kind of smelling themselves coming into this Thanksgiving game, coming off of a 5-game win streak. But you're going up against a Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is one of the best quarterbacks in the league at throwing with anticipation, right? And when you have to sacrifice your back end by rushing all these DBs all the time, it's going to be his dream to just throw one-on-one Yoshivas, right? I think it was Yoshivas, right? Versus Roquan Smith, one-on-one.
Right. Yeah.
Every single time. I'm gonna put that on the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you look at the pass,
and that ain't like downing Roquan.
It's not.
It's just a mismatch.
It's just a mismatch, right? But you look at the Ravens' past couple of opponents, right? I mean, who else was going to be able to kind of replicate that for them? Caleb Williams, doesn't throw with anticipation like that. He likes to extend plays, make big plays down the field. The Dolphins, when we played them, were an absolute dumpster fire, right? They had nothing going for themselves, even though I think Tua, he kind of has to play with anticipation. But again, they're just a dumpster fire. The Vikings, JJ McCarthy's not doing it. Shador Sanders wasn't doing it. Dylan Gabriel wasn't doing it that well. Tyrod Taylor for the Jets wasn't doing it, right? But when Joe Burrow comes to town, you have to be able to get pressure with four. And that's my main concern going into the playoffs. If the Ravens were to make it, I'm going to knock on wood. If the Ravens were to make it, I don't think that the offense would be the biggest issue. I think that the offense will pick it up. Like I said, a couple balls got to bounce our way with Lamar Jackson. We'll be fine. But the defense, I can see us getting into some shootouts and against some upper echelon quarterbacks, right, who can throw a little bit of anticipation. That could be scary. That could be very, very spooky if we cannot get home with Mike Green, Kyle Van Noy, Tavius Robinson, all those guys that we currently have in the edge rushing room. That has got to be a huge point of emphasis this offseason, as it's had to been the past couple of years, right? And we just kind of been taking swings at it. Mike Green, of course, we all kind of put, I don't want to say false hope in him, but second round pick was supposed to be a first round pick. He's got to grow into his NFL body. Hopefully he can kind of transition into being a much more, tenacious pass rusher than he is right now, because like you said, Chris, I mean, those tackles for the Bengals were big. And if you watch some of that tape, Coach, I know you watched it. I know all you guys watched it. Mike Green was getting stonewalled on certain plays, right? It was just nothing he could do, right? It was kind of like you guys know the Kevin Hart when he did what you doing, where you going? You know what I'm saying? Like it was one of those. I mean, that's what it looked like to me. So we got to get better on that front, man. I'll just leave it at that.
That was, I think the new one was a good watch too. Since you brought it up, I don't know if you saw it or not. It came out.
I checked it out. It was cool.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. It was funny. I love how Kevin uses his own personal life to tell stories. And the guy he raced is from my hometown.
Oh, who was it?
Stephen Ridley. Stephen Ridley.
Okay.
He didn't go to the public high school I worked at. He went to the private school, but he was from my hometown. He played at LSU. But yeah, I when I saw it, I'm like, hold on, I think I know that dude. And then when they showed the close up, I say, that's really. So Kevin Hart out there racing a real NFL player, which is crazy. But if you haven't seen it, go. And a lot of y'all don't like Kevin. I do. And he funny to me. Forget what y'all talking about. He funny to me. All right. All right. Next. What does this loss mean for the Ravens' momentum and identity after the 5-game win streak? Does this break them, or do they bounce back? Because me and Kerry, I know for sure, used the word resiliency with this team a couple weeks ago. Does this test the resiliency? Do you think they can pull it back in? I'll start with you, Kerry, since you me and you kind of talked about resiliency from these players.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a big test. I think they'll be fine. I think this is one of those. It's hard to. I don't want to say losing like this to a division opponent is like a flush it game, but I feel like for them to get to where they need to go, they do kind of have to flush it. You can't sit and harp on these kind of things, and you can't. I don't want them to get into a mode where they revert back and now it's like, woe is me. Oh my God, here come another 3-4 turnover kind of game. I think like we said, they showed some signs of resiliency, and now that's going to kind of be put to the test next week. A big game, big divisional game. They're in first place. They were playing mistake-free football prior to, even if they weren't playing perfect football, they were playing mistake-free football. At least get back to that. The deficiencies are what they are, but don't shoot yourself in the foot on top of that.
True.
And, this is a very, very winnable game against this Pittsburgh team. And so I think they bounce back. I think they do, show the resiliency that, they've shown in the previous, 5 games prior to that. But, it's going to be up to them.
Chris? Or Sutton, which one?
I'll go. I think this loss, I think it is their identity. This is who they are.
It looks familiar.
They've been showing us this for a few years.
That's fair.
This is what they've shown us that they are. When things get tight, when things go bad, This is usually how things unfold. And I know they had a nice little win streak.
Hmm.
Whoever your opponent is doesn't really matter to me. You know, you got to win the games that are on your schedule. We've
Yep.
seen this team lose to Gardner Minshew how many times? So you got to
At
win
least
whoever's
two.
whoever's on your schedule. That's who you have to play. So I commend them for coming out. When the cards were stacked against them and going on that little win streak. But as far as the identity of this team, I can't say like, yeah, they'll bounce back from this because from what they've shown me throughout the year, when I say bounce back, I don't mean make it to the playoffs. I mean show me that you can make noise in the playoffs. That's what I mean by bounce back.
Yeah.
And they haven't shown me that they can bounce back. The goal isn't the playoffs, just the playoffs. The goal
Right.
is to get into the playoffs and actually do something with it, which they haven't been able to do over the last few years.
Hmm.
So I can't say that I'm confident or I see something that can change within this team because I'm seeing the same mistakes over and over and over again. And this is going back to week one. We saw the same nonsense creep back into this team where, oh yeah, they find a way to lose a game where they're up big, or
Hmm.
it's just always the same kind of mental lapses on the field, and it's the coaching mistakes where you have guys who may not be as good starting, and then you have the GM who there are glaring holes, but refuses to actually you know put in adequate draft capital or free agency capital to fix that problem and just say we like our guys.
Hmm.
So it's more of the same. So I cannot say that I like that this team has shown me anything different.
Yeah, that comment consistently inconsistent
Hmm.
kind of really
Mm.
sums it up as
Yeah.
to what our identity is because we don't have a go-to run where we can say, hey, we need 3 yards, we need 2 yards. It's coming. Now it may be dressed up as something else, but this certain run is coming. We don't have a receiver that, hey, look, it's 3rd and 6. You get the ball. What we doing? We ain't got a receiver that can do that. We don't have an
Yeah.
O line that would make those first two things not even have to be done because you're gonna stay in front of the chains and your whole playbook be open. So it's you got a 1-2 combination in the backfield. But that 1-2 combination in the backfield needs them 5 jokers up front to function. And I think every problem on this team goes back to the offensive line. And I mean defensively as well. So if the offensive line can hold up, the Bengals don't have 80 plays to our 50 something because we're sustaining more drives and they're getting less plays. So it may be equal to maybe 60-60 or something like that. But 80-50 something that you can't win games like that on top of the turnovers. Now, did they turn the ball over? No. But if they did their job and we staying, on schedule and whatnot, turnovers wouldn't be that much of an issue because we working down the field and moving on down the field. And so their inconsistency keeps the offense off the field and makes the defense last longer. And I know defense may have, maybe give up some passes and stuff like that, but I still think if the offensive line is average, like the 5 across, if they're average,
Yep.
we play better offensively. We got a 5 from Marcus. Marcus says if this is not a Derrick Henry special versus Steelers, someone should be fired immediately. Don't go to the locker room. Just go to your car. Head home. Hey, the Mars just gave up about 300 yards rushing now. And like I think they ran the same play like 15, 20 times. So
Yeah.
he ain't wrong. Now
Nah,
I
you ain't
know their
wrong.
defensive tackles will play lights out and they'll be a different, like somebody said it last week. When it comes like we played the Bengals, the might have been Sutton. The records and the stats don't matter. So
And
when we play these guys this week, what that don't matter. It's blue blood game. So
Ravens
whatever
beat
they
the
used to do in the
Steelers.
past, go ahead.
Ravens beat the Steelers with Ryan Mallett. So when they had something to play for, the
Hmm.
playoffs was on the line, and the Ravens came in with Ryan Mallett and won. So
Right.
those divisional games is always a dogfight.
Mark says, why haven't these coaches developed Lamar with time I and this is my personal opinion. The only person that we got that work on schedule as far as a receiver is Bateman, and he is lost in the sauce right now. Him and likely somewhere lost in the sauce. Doing whatever they do. Them two cats, I don't know. where they headspace at right now. It's crazy what they're not doing after me expecting so much out. And not just me. A lot of people expected likely to take over tight end one, go get that bag.
Mhm.
The end of the season Bate had last year, we expected him to continue that with the separation and all that stuff, but this time be a sooner option in the reads. But that ain't transpired. So it's them two cats. They just been a huge disappointment, and that's part of the problem. Because like y'all said a minute ago, it ain't. If it was one thing, you can say let's fix this one thing and be better. But it ain't. It's coaching. It's coaching for a player too. It's execution for a player too. It's the offensive line. It's the quarterback. It's the receivers. It's people fumbling. It's something different. It's penalties. It's something different every time, and that's what makes it so frustrating. Because on paper they shouldn't be losing like this. But because they don't have the mental fortitude to just completely lock in and all 53 play for one goal, you're 6-6. And luckily your division sucks. Luckily.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, let's keep rolling. Let's keep rolling. All right. Which players or units need to respond the most next week? Sudden, we'll start with you.
Oh, I mean, well, all of them, but mainly, I would say the offensive line. You talked about it earlier, Coach. Like getting some continuity with Emory Jones. It seems like they want to kind of get him, accustomed to playing that left guard spot. And Harbaugh said it earlier this week. Like the only way that you're going to get more experience, because he said he looked like a rookie. He said the only way you're going to get more experience and not look like such a rookie is by playing. So I think they're gonna keep rotating him in and out with Andrew Voorhees, but that unit needs to gel quick, fast, and in a hurry. Because, like you mentioned, we don't have a run that we can just get to. We can have a run that we can get to if we have a competent enough offensive line that can execute the blocks that can get Derrick Henry or Keaton Mitchell to the second level. Right. That also has to do with Lamar Jackson feeling comfortable dropping back in the pocket, not having happy feet, being able to step up, move around, all that sort of stuff, and manipulate the pocket like he does. He doesn't need a perfect pocket. Lamar Jackson does not need a perfect pocket. He just needs a good enough pocket to where he can move around, he can manipulate, because he actually resets the pocket with his legs a lot of times. So I think that's the unit mainly for me that's going to need to step up. Like we mentioned, the defense don't really have too much, gripes on them other than the pass rush. That's an off-season thing. We're not fixing that right here and now. That's an off-season thing. But for now, this offensive line, in order to get this Ravens team scoring, because if the Ravens can put up 30 plus points per game, they're going to beat most teams. That's just kind of like the reality of it. So I'm going to say the offensive line needs to step up.
Chris, go ahead, Chris.
And I'm going to echo that because I'm always O-line. You have, like you say, Coach, you got that. Oh, no, OTR Mike, you got that Ferrari.
Yeah.
You got to protect that Ferrari. And the offensive line makes everyone's job easier. Quarterback, running back, wide receivers, tight ends. They make everyone's job
play
easier.
caller.
Yeah, play caller. So if they can get that line settled, it could definitely change things around for them. Again, the theme of this show, if.
Gary.
Yeah, I mean, I got to echo those same thoughts. I mean, if you thought enough of the situation at left guard to rotate Emory Jones in, I say just stop playing. He needs to be the starter. Starting this Pittsburgh game, get him in, get continuity with the group, and really do something to fix this. And it's not just the players, it's how they're being taught. Coach, you pointed it out. There's some of the technique stuff that's inconsistent from player to player, and it's puzzling to me how we even got here. And I don't want to rag too hard on the man. I don't know him, but I'm just going to be honest in it. When they hired Warhop a couple years ago, it was late August when they hired him. All the other 30 teams had already hired their offensive line coach, and he wasn't hired. They brought him in. It looked like a great move at the time because of his experience in the league. You felt fortunate to get somebody with that kind of experience that late in the game. But what you're seeing is, inconsistencies from one player to the next as far as their technique and frankly, the results aren't there with this group. And now part of that is on DaCosta because there should have been more talent pumped into this team.
Mm-hmm.
But then also at the same time, you look at Linderbaum putting bad tape week after week. He's putting bad plays on film, like horrible plays on film. You know, you see it with Rosengarten. He looked like a top tier pass protector when he finally got his opportunity. Look at what he did against Max Crosby.
Mm-hmm. First game.
Last year. Yeah, exactly. So for him to go from that to what we're seeing today, somebody's got to be accountable for that. And that's more of an off-season thing. But for the here and now, they got to figure out, okay, what is it I'm doing from a coaching standpoint that's causing this dysfunction? Emery is going to be a piece of it. You need to have athletes in there that don't give away, a physical mismatch, that don't give away an athletic mismatch. But then when you have that and you have technique issues, you're asking for failure. So it's on them to figure that out, and they got to figure it out fast.
Yeah, my answer is, and this kind of contradicts everything I've said up until right now. I always say the other 52 have to be better, but I'm going to say Lamar has to be better, and not Superman better, regular play execution better.
Mm-hmm.
If the read's there, do the read, and if they mess it up, that ain't on you, but you did the right thing. If the check down is there, take it. Take what the defense give you. Not saying that he needs to go out here and like put the cape on and we gotta have a Jackson 5. But there was some meat, and strictly just from me watching the tape and focusing on what I think his job is. Because I don't know the plays, but I got a general idea of what should be going on. Just take what they give you. And the big plays will happen. Because you take what they give you, and as they inch up to try to take away what you getting them with, then you can hit them with something over the top. Then your play action comes in mind. And don't forget to run the ball. The main thing is don't forget, even if you got to come out and check the runs. Because, quote unquote, that playoff game, there was some runs called and they got checked out, quote unquote. It's neither here nor there. It is insinuated, but it just, hey, run the football. They just gave up. Everybody in the chat box just got 15 yards on the Steelers last game. So Derek can at least get 100.
Yeah.
At least get the dog can get 100. It is what it
Yeah,
is.
that's why I got my mic muted. My dog's going off in the background right now.
But yeah, he and I don't say that from a place of negativity, just as a place of settling down and just being the greatness that you are. You ain't got to be more than what you normally are. Just be the greatness that you are. And the other 50, if the other 52 rise up, or if them other 11 just on offense rise up, we scoring 40. If you just be average 8, and then them other 11 be, where they're at or a little bit better, we're gonna score 40 points. And that's the guy I say, would probably need to be better and not like just go off, but just take the right reads and stuff like that. All right, so it is 7 on the dot, and we got our 2 non-sports questions that we're gonna throw out here for my compadres and the chat. And so this is the first one. After a tough loss, especially with it being Thanksgiving, what is your go-to comfort food after a tough loss? Chris, you don't go yet.
For me, and my dog is still going off in the background. I apologize.
It's all good. It's all good. But life happens, man.
Yeah, I'll just say for me, it's not so much comfort food. I need me a drink. I need me a drink after a loss, man. I'll make me something a little either some whiskey or if I'm feeling froggy, some tequila. Normally tequila after a win, right? But after a loss,
time.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But no, man, I'll give me a nice little drink and whatever's in the fridge, whatever my lady is cooking up, I'm fine with. But that's what I'll say.
I thought you was gonna say cornbread.
Oh, hell no.
Hey, did you see what Garnett did?
Yeah, I did. I
Oh
saw the
yeah,
meme he made. I
Man,
saw the meme he
that
made of
little
it.
boy, he ain't waste no time doing that.
Yeah, he said he was going to do it. Man of his word. Shout out to Garnett.
G funny, man. Kerry, what about you?
Man, I'm a cookie fanatic, man. So give me a good cookie.
that's the Cookie
I'm
Monster.
good. Yes, sir. Give me
What's your favorite
that.
cookie? For favorite kind?
I mean, can't go wrong with a good chocolate chip, man. I'm not too fancy with it, but a good chocolate chip, especially a warm one, man, just give me that. But
He said chocolate chip. Get my Shador up.
yeah, something like that, man, or good dessert, a little apple pie and ice cream, something light, something cool, but that's usually what and that's any situation, a loss, a tough day with work, whatever the case may be, man, just hit that sweet tooth.
Chris, see what he got to say.
Yams.
Sweet potato.
Potato yams.
Oh, that's
No,
your
we
answer
talking
for
about
real?
No, I mean, probably like
no, we talking about them yams that Charlie Murphy,
Yeah,
not Charlie
yeah.
Murphy, Charlie Wilson, Uncle Charlie was singing about. Good, can I get to the yams?
um no, probably just like a burrito or something. I go down to the little Mexican spot. Make sure ice ain't there and get a nice little burrito.
This man said, make
He
sure
said,
ice
make
ain't.
sure. Oh my gosh, bro.
See, if you wasn't listening, you didn't even
I
catch
ain't catch that at first. I did not catch that at
it.
first.
For me, I think I'm with Carrie. With Carrie is the good chocolate chip cookie, or my thing is during peanut M&Ms.
Mm.
Oh yeah,
I love some peanut M&Ms. Like the regular
yeah,
M&Ms,
man.
they are trash. But peanut M&Ms, they how you the same company had go from trash to goated, which is crazy. Or the vanilla Oreos.
Mm,
Oh yeah,
those are good. Those are good.
yeah, yeah. They hit.
Vanilla Oreos. Got some in there that I had on my drive back that I ain't finished eating. Vanilla Oreos.
Double stuff too.
Oh, yeah. They regular, double, and thin. I got the thin ones though, because I'm trying to be better. But all three of them. Hey,
So you don't discriminate.
cookies come in all shapes and forms. Double stuff, regular, and thin. So you just got to get to the cookies whenever you can get to them. Chris, I
Yes,
thought you liked
sir.
that answer.
I do.
All right, and we'll end it with this one right here. And I really want to see the chats, comments, as well as you guys. If you could bring back one trend from the 1990s or 2000s, what would it be?
Can I go first on this
Yeah,
one?
you definitely go first.
Rent prices.
Mm,
That's the first thing.
talk about it.
I'm in New York, so
Oh
rent
my.
prices is crazy. So yeah, if we could go back to that, nice little $700. I'll be good with that.
That's pretty good right there. I didn't even think on that level. Care?
Man, I seen this come up maybe on a timeline maybe a couple weeks ago, or maybe even on the news or something like that. Mall culture. Remember, like
Ah,
you could just
Mm,
pull up at the mall and that could just be your whole day. You know,
mm-hmm.
yeah.
you're trying to get with a girl, you hit the movies, get you
Hmm.
some gear. Like you can do all this stuff in the mall. And like we were young, you didn't even have to have no car. You just catch the bus or get dropped off at the mall. That was the whole day. You just
That's
kicking
it.
it. And now you can't even like really pull up at the mall without people shooting or just being boring or whatever
Mm-hmm.
the case may be, man. So that'd be nice, man. A simpler time for sure.
I have a
Yeah.
question. I'm gonna get you. I have a question, but I want to follow up what he said, son. So, well, I know I did. I used to get dropped off at the mall as an older guy, and like dropped off, and mom be like, "I'll be back in 3 hours or 4 hours or whatever." Carrie, Chris, y'all and son, did you experience this at all? Any? Because I got to
Well,
follow
I
up question
mean,
if y'all did.
I would get dropped off at the mall, but my mom would tell me, "I don't know how you getting back. You better find a way back."
Same difference. Same difference.
Yeah,
So
we don't
my
really,
real
we don't really
question
have
is,
malls over here like that.
my real question is, how much money did it take for you to be gone, be busy, while they did whatever they needed to do? And
None,
I'll
really.
go first as the elder statesman. $20
Mm-hmm.
being dropped off at about noonish, getting picked up at about 6. I still have money left,
Yep.
but I keep in mind I'm a little older. Chris, Carrie, how much money did your day take at the mall?
And you hit it right on the head. I was just about to say that $20. You get dropped off early enough, you get that matinee movie. It was only a couple bucks.
Yep.
Hit the food court, you can get you a little meal.
Mm-hmm.
Like you say, by the time it's time to go back home, you still got a few dollars in your pocket.
Most definitely.
And you might have a number too.
No, I know Mike. No, numbers in your pocket was more important than food and water back then. And don't let somebody from out of town come through and man, she about to get all the attention because we seen everybody else all the time. Who's the new person?
Yeah.
Then, back then you had to worry about nobody fighting either. Go ahead, son. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I was just gonna say, get dropped off at the mall. I mean, $20 is cool as long as I can go. If I'm with my friends or whatever, that was what was really most important. Just kind of like spending time with them. And like you said, the mall used to be a vibe, right? You could just go and window shop. You didn't have to buy nothing. As long as I got enough money to get me a little Cinnabon from Cinnabon, right? I could walk around with that, or give me a little drink or something. Like, I'm cool. I wasn't expecting to go out and buy stuff and all that. I mean, now going to the movies, if I was with a young lady, that's a different story.
It's different.
Right, I gotta have a little bit of change. Gotta have a little bit of change for that, right? But if I'm just with the homies, I don't really need too much. But for me, a trend that I would bring back from the 90s and 2000s, bring back like staple, classic, funny Black movies, right? That's what I would want back. I mean, you talking about from like the 90s and 2000s, man. They gave us so many gems. You talking about like Friday. You talking about like White Man Can't Jump, White Chicks. Big
Harlem
Mama
Nights.
House, Norbit, Harlem Nights, Roscoe, bro. There's so many.
Man.
There's so many like Black films that came out back then that felt like an event. It felt like a thing when they came out. Remember, you used to go to Blockbuster, right, or Hollywood Video, wherever you had it, and you used to see that whole wall of like new releases, and it just felt it was a different time. I'm like the nostalgia is coming back to me right now, but I just wish that we had like Black movies that actually felt impactful. Right. I feel like we're not getting a whole lot of those these days. So that's what I'll say. That's my trend from the 90s, 2000s. I wish we could bring back.
Hey, shout out to Major Payne because I just watched that with my daughters over the weekend. And my youngest daughter, she hurt her nose yesterday. And I grabbed her hand and I said, "You want me to take your mind off the pain?" And she started dying and she ran away. She was laughing because she remembered it from the movie. So yeah, shout out to Major Payne.
I told my wife probably about a couple months ago, I said, you think about our kids and whatnot. It's a plethora of movies out there that they haven't been introduced to yet that are classics that they'll be able to watch, well into their 30s and just not be discovering them because we had so much stuff as youngsters, and on top of all the new stuff that's coming out that you can't even get to some of the stuff that we think is classics. And that like that movie like that, your daughters never thought they would have been funny, but it resonates. And so we got a bunch of movies out there, like Sutton said, that need to go to Netflix. They need to go to Prime. They need to be visible to these, I'm gonna say these 20-somethings because they're, of age to watch some of the stuff because you don't want no kids watching Harlem Nights, but even though it happened. But all them, they need to be witness to that stuff and see what we grew up on, and maybe it'll be a better understanding. It won't be so much this generation versus this generation. We just all be vibing together, having a great time.
Yeah.
I hate that pitting each other against each other. That bothers me. Exactly what it is. Exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But for me, if I could bring back one trend from the 90s or 2000s, and I ain't been in this type of place in a long time, and I probably wouldn't do it if they did brought it back but I know back in the day, going to parties and actually moving around and mingling and dancing and whatnot.
Yeah, for sure.
Now at this age, that probably ain't happening, but those days I wasn't just standing around on my phone Or just, well, I take that back. Just being at the event and being there.
Well, see, that's the thing, Coach. You can't do that nowadays because
I
everybody
know.
got one of these. You got one of these. Nobody wants to be caught on film doing whatever, acting like whatever. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Everybody's
me.
buried their heads into this.
That's me.
So yeah, I get
I
it.
won't be
Yeah.
caught on film doing too much of nothing. So you ain't gonna see me doing too much of nothing. But back then, when it wasn't these out there, let some of that some good New Orleans. It must be it because it ain't your. Let that come on. Come on.
A good old house party. Nothing beats a good old house
What?
party.
A great house party. A great house party with some good music, a good bartender, and some good vibes. Shh, you can't beat that. But now, so you mentioned it earlier, that you just want to pow bang bang stuff. Let us have some good times, man. Let us vibe. Because you
And
can't get
that,
no girls. Don't mess up the people that can.
I
That's
used to
all it
leave.
is.
I used to leave those parties with the dye on my pants on my legs because from like grinding and sweating and all of that stuff. It used to be like those kind of parties where
Yeah.
you like, damn, all the blue dye on my pants got on my legs. Like, damn, I look like a Smurf. Those are the parties.
Those kind of
Hey,
parties, right?
Those
Where
are
I
the
was
people having fun.
I
Ain't
was
hurt
just about
nobody.
to say that. I was just about to say that, Chris. The kids now will never know having wipe jean prints off the walls in the crib afterwards. They'll never know that struggle.
And I'll end it. This one thing is and again, me and my wife went to school together, but we were cool. We knew each other. We talked, but we weren't like dating or nothing like that. They had a block party for graduation.
Ooh.
Like for real. Like they had a whole block blocked off. And it was nuts. Every house like that was on that block was cool with the situation. I'll probably say the whole school and half the town was just in that one block radius. It was off the chain.
Mm.
It was nuts, all right.
Not for me. Not for me. It was regular nuts for me. But
Hey, real quick. I saw Heather in the chat says she just moved and she got a new job. Congratulations, Heather.
oh,
Shout out to you.
congratulations.
Oh yeah.
Congratulations.
Shout out.
Congratulations,
Shout out
man.
to you.
Congratulations. I
Shout
missed
out.
that. I missed it. I'm sorry. There she go. I see her, but yeah, congratulations. I did see the one congratulations, but I didn't know who they was talking to. So shout out to Heather for moving and blessings in New Year blessings in December. That's how you say that. New Year
Mhm.
blessings in December. Look at this joke. This joke right here, boy. This joke right here, man. This joke right here. But before we get out of here, JR bumped his membership up 4 months. Then he dropped a 50. Then Chris came back and said, "Don't show her up with a 50." B came back with a 20. JR dropped another 50. And Marcus came followed it up, closing real with the 5. So I want to thank all you guys for doing that. It means the world to me. In some kind of way, some way, shape, form, or fashion, it will go back into the channel because the more I'm blessed, the more I try to make better videos and bring y'all money's worth. So again, I really appreciate that. It means the world to me. And that is week 13. This episode of I probably should start numbering this stuff like y'all do PRP. Ravens Roundup. I do so much different stuff. It's tough to number. I'll be on 1,000 in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I appreciate y'all. Chris and Carrie. Well, Chris, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yep.
Okay, be me and you tomorrow. Mike gotta work. Carrie, I appreciate you. See
Yes,
you.
sir.
If I don't see you before Monday, see you Monday. Sudden, I'll remember Thursday, I'll be at 5:45. So segue to you guys at 6:30. And
Yes, sir.
that's how that'll work. And I'll see you in the different spaces. I was in your video while setting this one up today about how the AFC sucks. And
Yes, sir.
y'all know where to follow everybody. Deep Cover Podcast, Purple Rain Podcast. Jose's not. I should have. Dang, I meant to do that. Hold on 1 second. Show you how we support around here. Give me a second.
Here come the hoodie. The little hoodie coming.
No, coach always got it on deck.
Yep. Let me see.
All right, I'm
Make
back.
sure y'all like the video.
I'm back.
y'all.
I don't have my headphones in yet, so I can't hear you. But I just want to show you how how we get down over here. So I'm opening it fresh out the box.
Oh,
Ooh,
good
okay.
joint. Okay,
Hey,
Oh,
there it
that's
is.
clean.
Mr. Microphone.
All of us got merch. Mess with
That's
the merch.
clean.
LBHT.
Yeah.
Everybody got merch. Get with the merch. Get with the merch.
Yeah, that's
Get with the
fire.
merch. I just got this today. It came quick. I think I ordered it right at the end of last week, so I got it already. Shout out to that's Jose's representation today. Follow them on Lunch Break Hot Take. They'll be live tomorrow at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time. And on that note, fellas, do you have any closing remarks?
No, not for me. I mean, definitely make sure y'all like this video. Subscribe to the channel if y'all are new. Always remember, stay positive, test negative. Never ever forget, even on the rainiest of days, to call God. That's it from me.
Hey, we're gonna end on
Yes,
that.
sir.
That's perfect.
Yes, sir.